What is happening, y'all? Welcome back. See this through till the end. No, my meter. I should put this on this meter, to be honest. What do we have on? Well, no, that one does work well. Can I inflict fire? I do a moderate amount. God, I really do need all of them. Well, I mean, we're basically out of kunai anyway, so. Well, that's a lot of bullets. Oh, speaking of, did I ever get the final, run and grab my drink real fast. I forgot it on the side of the road. I was like, shit. I want to go into the final battle thirsty.
似たような遊びをしたことがある。二人のせがれとまだ幼く長生きすると思っていた頃にわしの子は先に死んでしまった。
斎藤、ヨセ娘は
わしは怨霊に用が他は全て立ち去れ。この子を連れて
従ってくれ。キックのため。
行け。
弟たちを殺して気は晴れたのか。
あやつはわしに背いた。わしらのような獣は復讐の呼び水には抗えぬのだ。
俺は生きがいを見つけたぜ。
お主は昔のまま変わらず怨霊のままだ。安らかな人生を歩めた者、どうして人斬りの道を歩む。
Hang on. Real fast. I'm gonna go back to that, but I thought that would work. Let me show you fear. Okay, now back. Now we go back to health. Okay. So hell, probably defense. No, I wanted healing. Oh shit. Damn. Do I get my ghost meter back?
お主は昔のまま変わらず怨霊のままだ。安らかな人生を歩めた者、どうして人斬りの道を歩む。 せがれの仇だ。
砦のありかを教えたのは雲だぞ。
時を16とせも待っていたのだろう。今さらためらうな。
Actually, since there's not really... Oh god. His quick draw was faster than my quick draw.
キクはユキと一緒だ。ここは俺が食い止める。二人で新たな身内を守るぞ。あの小猿が立派になったな。俺は侍だ。身内も娘もいる。
今行く。
互いを思いやる心、そんなもの弱みを生むだけだぞ。熱
中兵衛、
命ある者のため。弟の墓の隣に埋めてやる。
中兵衛が死ぬもんか。
Damn. Dude. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna have to lock the fuck in.
弟の墓の隣に埋めてやる。
中兵衛が死ぬもんか。
Damn, I don't even know. Yeah, that comes out so fast. I don't even know if I can do a quick draw counter on it. I think I just need to parry that first frame.
弟の墓の隣に埋めてやる。
中兵衛が死ぬもんか。
こ
let me compare this set. So melee, defense, utility. Do assault damage, heal, parry, katana stagger. That's the major health is reduced. Your parry, dagger, heal, and then heal potency. Yeah, I think we stick with this. I mean, I'm only getting the one parry if I'm off a deck. Because the other one I can't. It's perfect parry only. No, fuck. How sick would it have been if the wolf jumped in right then? Oh, I can counter that whole sequence with some Metsubushi? You don't get to do that. I mean, it's a glint, so it's parryable. You dirty old man. Honestly, maybe I don't want health on parry, and instead I want more spirit gain. If there's something I can... Because he hits so hard, I can't even rely on the heal off the parry, really. Or having to... Right as I say it, I get back to full health from parries.
なでご飯を食べよう。
Damn it. Fuck it, I'm so tired of that, dude. Why? Who the fuck decided cameras should be on the right D-pad? It's like you're trying to... It's so annoying because you're trying to hit to get like a quick heal off, and then it's like, oops, you accidentally hit the camera button. Let me see if there's something I could... Because that also has reduce all damage taken. Instead of this, is there... Big health increase? Maybe? You smoke bomb like a heal? What would help me here? The only other thing would be this, just major health. Either that or the lightning thing, but it's lightning on a nearby enemy, not on the enemy that you're fighting.
やれ狼の姫。
Atsu.
Yeah, Jubei don't look too good.
Atsu、うちが見えるとこにいんきゃダメずら。俺、キノコは好きくね。
姉様、キノコを見つけたよ。
ああ、どこで？
姉様の言う通り丸太のそば。
ここには十兵衛とよく来てた。すまねえ、ついうっかり。
気にしないで、音のことは。
すまね
あそこ食べきれないほどあるよ。
冬を越せそうなほどだ。何か気がかりか？
うん、松前のこと。お城を建て直してるんだって。
斎藤が死んでゆとりができたんだろうな。
みんなまだ贈り物を備えてる。怨霊に向けて。きっと残党をどうにかしてほしいんだね。
六人衆はもういない。あとは侍に任せればいい。
お父のお屋敷燃えてないかな。
春になったら行ってみよう。望むならば。
もうここが家だよ。姉様に見せたいものがある。
雪が降りそうだぞ。
じゃあ急ごう。
こっそり来てたのはここだったか。
知ってたんだね。花の種を見つけて芽が出るとは思ってなかったけど植えてみたんだ。
咲いてる。
もうすぐ枯れちゃうね。
菊の花に似てるな。十兵衛が昔から好きだった花だ。下手くそな和歌を読むほどにな。
お役目から戻るたび一輪だけ摘んできてくれたんだ。時折目の端に弟の姿が見える気がする。でもそっちを向くと誰もいないの。
歌にはあの世の人に語りかける力があるそうだ。
弟にもちゃんと聞こえるかな。
ああ、一輪墓に備えてやろう。
喜ぶね。あれっておゆきさん。
行ってこい。十兵衛のために引いてやる。後で追いつく。お菊は大した引き手になるぞ。てめえも嬉しいだろ。俺の狩りは終わった。
And that's a wrap. $80. You're 6% to the next level. What? Oh, like a general trophy thing. Oh, man. I want to check my playtime after this. I think we're in the range of like 50 plus hours. Oh, man. So let's do the credit review. Let me go ahead and I'll lower this a bit so y'all can hear me more. So to start, gameplay. So obviously very similar gameplay to Ghost of Tsushima, but I mean the biggest difference is instead of the stances, we now have different weapons. Personally, I think I like the weapons more just because it adds a little bit more flair. You know, like if you really just want to mess stuff up with Odachi, you can. At the same time, I do wish it wasn't as one-sided towards balance. Like, you know, you saw a shield pull out the Kusarigama, you saw Kusarigama pull out spear, but like if you really just wanted to use a spear against, say, a katana, like you were at a disadvantage, like because they would just, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I feel like they would just parry and deflect way more of your shit when you weren't matching the weapon, which I wish it was a little more lenient there just so I could lean into the other weapons. But I still think I like it more than the stance system. Besides that, some other gameplay changes. Obviously, we got access to guns. Didn't use the rifle all that much, but I did like the quick shot of the pistol. I thought that was pretty fun. Triple flame kunai was tearing it up. Auto lock on bows was disgusting for like free roaming and taking out bases and whatnot. So overall, I think I'd say I like the gameplay more. Another part which ties into the world design here is we had a lot of the stuff that we had back in Tsushima, but I felt like they just added more. You know, we had our shrines, we had our fox dens, but we had our wolf dens. We had our Sumi paintings that we could find. We obviously had the shamisen as opposed to like the flute stuff. I feel like there were a lot more dynamic encounters though, you know, like just finding people on the road and they needed help. And one of the big things I liked, and we saw this a lot early on, is when I would do something like rescue a camp or whatnot, I would then get a hint and I'd get that little piece of paper and I could place that on the map. And I thought that was super cool. I thought that was a really, really cool way for them to allow you to discover stuff in the game, but like in a very organic fashion where, you know, like, yeah, we're getting a checkbox on the map, we're getting a place we can go and do something, but it's like we did something and then someone's like, hey, thanks for helping us. Or, you know, I think a good example is like when we were just like earlier in we were at the coastline, we were riding by and there was some dude that's like, oh, have you been on the road a lot? Yeah, there's a hot spring nearby, you should go check it out. And you're like, oh, thanks for the heads up, because that's a very like natural interaction you might expect. And I thought that was just an absolutely phenomenal way to aid in the overall exploration of the world. So all in all, I've really, really liked the world design and how they ended up putting that out there, like the general flow of the exploration. I thought it was fantastic. Another thing is obviously we have access to like our songs that are guiding us to stuff, and I just think that's such a fun way to do it. Talking a bit about the story, I think the story is going to be the biggest spot where it's either hit or miss for a lot of people, because, you know, it's a revenge story, very Kill Bill-esque themes. Overall, I think I liked the story through the end. I was definitely a little bit worried for a second. I was like, man, they better not do a, you know, I don't need revenge anymore, I'm gonna let you live, walk away type bullshit. And I'm glad they didn't. Like in the end, she, you know, she burns her thing, like, you know, I'm not here for revenge anymore, I don't give a fuck, basically. Still throws down, pins him to the tree, leaves him there to die. I was like, okay, I'm okay with that. If she had tried to walk away from the fight, I would have been so pissed off. But especially a lot of the stories were really good. Honestly, I think Saito and his closing arc, him and the dragon, I think were probably the weakest, because the build up to the Oni, that was fantastic. And then the whole Kitsune arc, that was fantastic. When we first approached the spider and they're like getting ready to enact the Night of the Burning Tree, and then we're like, nah, the Night of the Burning Tree deserves a new ending, and we go ghost mode and start slaughtering people. That was fucking peak cinema. But the whole like chasing the dragon while he's running and then fighting him on the beach, that was kind of lackluster. And then Saito in particular, I mean, it was a good fight at the end, but I mean, there was just so much build up with the other arcs that I feel like Saito ended up kind of just, I don't know, just kind of felt a little mild, given that he was, you know, the penultimate boss, like the final guy. So I definitely liked, I think that the mid of the game, the middle part of the game, I think was the most enjoyable. And towards the end, it felt like they were kind of trying to wrap it up a little too quick, maybe. But overall, I mean, I liked the story. I thought it was pretty good. I did like the side stories more than like the final conclusion. I'm glad that they didn't shy away from death. If they had, you know, this isn't the kind of story you can just wrap up like everyone lives happily ever after. So obviously, you know, Jubei or Yuki or Kiku, somebody was gonna die. And I'm glad they didn't shy away from that, because I feel like that happens a lot these days. In terms of graphics, obviously the game looks fantastic. I think the Sucker Punch team does some of like the best graphical work that PlayStation can accomplish. I mean, I think that's honestly pretty common for PlayStation in-house studios. I mean, you think about Ghost, you think about like Horizon, God of War, like, you know, they always look very good. If there's one thing these teams are going to nail, it's going to be graphics, and especially like overall aesthetic and art design. Like, I think it's just a very beautiful game in general to just run around, and the wind's going around and all the leaves are rustling and shit. It just looks good. In terms of audio was top notch playing in Japanese. Obviously, I don't know how well the English dub ended up being, but the Japanese voice acting was exactly on point. Thought it was fantastic. Weapon sound effects, obviously, all that shit, the parries and whatnot, all of that was crisp, just peak, absolutely peak. In terms of length and price, we're gonna check our full save playtime when we get out of this, but I would say this is worth it, because I want to say that I'm probably in the realm of 50 hours, I think, when you consider all the episodes plus the streams. I think right around 45, 50 hours is probably going to be what this clocks in at, which I think that's like the sweet spot for a open world exploration game, in my opinion. You know, because if you go too short, if you're more into like 25, 30, then it's like, you know, why even make it open world if it's going to be knocked out that fast? And I think when you go into the like 60 to 100, like, unless you're a game that's more about freeform exploration, something like Skyrim, I think it ends up becoming a slog. And that's, you know, exactly what typically happens to me when I play the Assassin's Creed games. I'm just like, there's too much fucking content here. I don't want to do it anymore. I get burnt out on it. In terms of bugs and performance overall was definitely really clean. There were a couple like weird jumps where I'd jump and Atsu would end up getting like stuck, but usually there was like a 5-second window and then she would just kind of like resolve and wiggle herself out. So that's really nice to see that, like, they knew, you know, people are going to do some fucky jumps. We're going to have like an auto collision resolve in place for when that occurs, which I think helped prevent what could have been like fall throughs or things that would be annoying in a playthrough. I will say though, after completing it, some general thoughts. I don't know if I would want a third game with the same formula. Because, like, I had a blast playing Ghost, and I did have, or I should just say Tsushima. I had a blast with Tsushima, and I had a blast playing this. I definitely enjoyed it through the end. But I do think the combat in this game is definitely more on the simple side. You know, it's basically rock, paper, scissors for the most part, outside of, like, going parry crazy and whatnot. And I think that's where the game really shines. Like, there were a couple moments that were like really, really good. You know, like I'd like get a parry, kill a guy, pick up a weapon, kill a guy, throw kunai to kill 3 more, pop ghost mode, slaughter more. And I think when you're using all that shit, that's when the game is at its best. That's when it's firing on all cylinders. But the general like rock, paper, scissors formula of like this beats this beats that, I don't know if I could do it for a third game. Because like I definitely felt it wearing on me a little bit towards the end of Tsushima. And I think I kind of saw it the same here. Like, even in the final battle with Saito, I was like, oh, okay, you're pulling out your shield, let me get my Kusarigama. Oh, you're pulling out your Naginata, let me get my dual blades. Okay, now it's time for Katana versus Katana. And, you know, like, on one hand, it does mix up the combat a bit, but I think it just feels... what's the word I'm looking for? It feels very, I can't think how to describe this. What's the word? It's like on the tip of my tongue. You know, it's like very like going through the motions, like, you know, a 9 to 5. Like, oh, yep, they did that, I do this. They did that, I do this. This is how I respond. And, you know, if they did a third Ghost game, which I think they might, I really hope they mix it up beyond that to where, like, yeah, there could be advantages still, but kind of how I was saying, you know, if there's a one weapon that you really like, I want ways to make that viable in most cases, instead of having to constantly change through weapons, because I don't think it would carry me through a third game. And I do think that is just a general theme with me when it comes to open world RPGs like this. Like, I mean, it was the same thing with Assassin's Creed. You know, I ended up enjoying Origins a lot. I enjoyed Odyssey a lot. And then by the time we got to Valhalla, I was just over the formula. Didn't even finish it. And obviously didn't play any of the other ones that come out. 'Cause it's the same shit. And I think, while I did like this and I did like Tsushima, I think if there was a third game and there wasn't a significant overhaul of what they're offering here, I don't know if it would keep my attention all the way through. So I feel like, you know, the first game was fantastic. Loved it. And this one, obviously, very similar. And I don't just want to say it's more of the same, but like, you know, there are obviously a lot of similarities going on here between this and what we had with Tsushima. And so unless the third game did just a big overhaul, I think I would end up hitting that burnout point, which isn't really a poor reflection on the game. I think it's just kind of how I'm feeling about this overall presentation of it. But all in all, final rating, I would probably put this in, I'd probably put it at like a 9 out of 10. Because I do think the latter half of the game, especially Dragon and Saito, they just felt significantly weaker. But the mid portion of the game where I was going all through and upgrading everything, that was a blast. And then it just, I don't know, the finish, like that final, I mean, like even looking back at the episodes, like from, I guess like the last 4 hours of the playthrough, really, they just didn't feel as strong as the rest of the playthrough. And you know, it's just, it is what it is. But personally I would have liked it to stay a little bit stronger. But either way, that is going to close things out for my general thoughts. I don't see any way to skip the credits. I guess they're just going to roll. I am going to let the credits fully roll here, and then we can obviously see if it shows our playtime, or just save the game to see our playtime, see if there's a post-credit scene, whatever the case is. But regardless, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, the next game on deck is going to be Ninja Gaiden 4, which should be a blast to play, going from more of a samurai to a ninja. I think it'll be good. But either way, y'all obviously enjoy the credits and stay tuned for the next series.
そうして俺は内なる怨霊を鎮めた。俺の物語の顛末だ。俺たちの。
でもまだ言ってないことがありそうだけど。
まあ一つや二つは斎藤と相対する前に蝦夷地におけるあいつの力を弱めたしな。
だからお父やおゆきさんを助けられたんだね。
てめえが平和に暮らせる家も用意できた。
そういう話も聞きたいな。
そうだな。
6 months earlier, before Lord Saito's death.
その日はいつもと変わらぬ朝、風が背中を押して何かが起きる気がした。
So I guess this is just, I think this is how they do the post game. Well, let's see what goodies are for sale. What's this kimono? What am I wearing? Unreal.
新しく仕入れた品見ていかない？
Oh.
使ってくれる人に渡さないとね。
Go around, see what goodies are unlocked. That's a bunch of different Onyo masks.
来てくれると思ってた。ちょっと待ってて。渡したいものがあって。なんだ？おあつさんの正体みんな気づいてる。ランさんも銀次さんも。
まあすぐに察しはつきやしたけどね。
もう広まってるんだ。竜が殺されたって知らせ。これで妖帝6人衆のうち5人いなくなった。残るは斎藤だけ。
怨霊にはふさわしい面をつけてってもらいてえ。決戦のために。
人のために戦ってねえぞ。
それでもいい。ただご無事であってほしいだけでさ。斎藤の野郎を成敗してください。みんなのために。
Gifts for a ghost. The spider's mask, the dragon's mask, rancorous wrath. Another one that pops up? They give me like the first Onryo mask, maybe? Let's wait for that to clear. What else is on the map? That's, well, I couldn't afford the thing there. It's Ainu. Shikari Plain Merchant. It's probably the same thing. Yeah, it's like all the merchants have one base thing for me. It's probably the same regardless of where I go. There might be DLC in the future, but that's a bridge to cross when we get to it. So, total play time. What did we clock in at? 51 hours and 30 minutes. Not too bad. Oh, either way, that is going to wrap up our journey for now. Once again, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.